Alright, go out there.
Alright. You want to sell it?
He wants solo. I don't need a solo.
Everybody, yeah, I want to sell it.
I want a soul. Yeah.
I'll come back. Hell yeah.
Oh,
yes.
I used to model, so I know how to
Oh,
take
you know,
pictures.
he's a model. Were you an underwear model?
You want to go with every, or do you want to make
You want by himself.
By myself, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take a group pic too.
Ready?
I want both. They got
Alright.
like little box to hold it up. That's really cool.
Um,
I want to keep them alive.
Yeah, we should take a group photo afterwards.
Allison.
I don't need one by myself.
Take me on the plane. Take me on the plane when I'm trying to sleep.
Yep. Yep. पिङ्कमा जाउँ न मान्छे कस्तो राम्रो देखिएको तल भुइँ पनि पिङ्क फ्लावर पनि पिङ्की एउटा पोर्ट्रेटहरू पनि देखिन्छ राम्ररी पानी
जाऊँ त्यसमा
One balcony right out here.
Inside.
Ini udah semua kita ini.
One more?
June to like October.
June, July, August, September, October.
Yeah.
अब यहाँ बस्न पाउने भनेको 5 महिना हो नि मान्छे
Nothing.
हिँड्ने त्यो टाइममा भयो अब समय हो हाम्रो लागि हाम्रो 2 महिना चाहिँ के हुन्छ
They've got it back home in Mainland.
I spent my 40th at Lake Lure. Pictures I see. There's a hotel called 1927. My birthday's in August. We go at the midweek.
We have tried. They're very pretty, and unfortunately, that's it. They don't have a whole lot going on upstairs. I don't think big enough chunk of the gene pool made it over. So, we look great on TV, not so great at drivers. We're also not that great at driving, so it's a fun combo. We really connect with the streets, and it simply doesn't make any sense. Because if you don't live here, you don't know where you're going. The diaper fails. It fails in a pretty spectacular fashion. Y'all, my name again is Eric. Any questions, let me know. We're going to give you a bit of background on you're not going to see that families of four. It's going to make out all these different land grants. But Lord providers, none of them bother packing the bags. We're going to name plenty of stuff after them, but we'll never see any. And when that first ship arrived here in April of 1670, settled by the little brothers of English sugar planters. That isn't an introduction of the whole plantation during a rainstorm. You really don't want to be here during a hurricane. Pleasant is barely over 30 feet. I thought our capital, Columbia, was in the mountains when I was a kid, and those are actually sand dunes. And now, the last little bit of Charleston's early history. Starting in 1704, we got to build walls around the city. We were the only walled city of British North America, and about 90% of our route is going to be inside that portion of the city. But because we were not yet a royal colony, we could not depend on the Royal Army or Navy for our protection. So, we built our wall, we don't worry about the French to the Caribbean. We are a resort named after them. Oh yeah, it's not far from where I grew up. I don't have to. Saturday nights, that's when the gas station turns into Harold's Country Club. Otherwise, not much going on. There was that big monkey escape back in January. They kind of caught all the monkeys. The most profitable cash crop growing here is actually rice. At one point, Charleston was exporting rice to China. It was called Carolina Gold. We still grow it the old-fashioned way. It's almost a boutique thing, but they don't commercially. Pounds on it better than cash crops. And it's stored. So thanks for coming, y'all. But what also did it for us was our ports. Charleston began build material. These guys bigger than more. We don't have any stone in this part of South Carolina. We don't have a railroad yet that can efficiently move building stone houses. And you typically cannot build up with ballast stones, or they would have been ballast stones in the first place. So what are we going to do? We're going to fake it. We're going to smear a stucco over that brick, we'll even score lines in it, and we'll make it look like it's built out of block stone. Y'all going to see a lot of stucco on the walls of Charleston. Now, the other thing all over these walls, it's built about every shape and size, but that metal disc has got to be the most common sort. So what these really are, jib plates with stabilizing rods, which you see in old buildings all over the world. In Charleston, we like to call them earthquake bolts. And that's largely because we like to make up our own name for everything. Kind of like how when a cockroach, the size of your hand, and learns how to fly, you got to put it away. But you're all aware that you are sitting on top of one of the most active fault lines in the nation, right? That is something that does not come up a whole lot in Southern Weather magazine. Charleston is on the Woodstock fault line. roughly 3 feet in height, rolling through town for a couple of minutes, and that's not take all of your pictures now. But geological evidence, we have a major earthquake every 400 or 500 years. We love talking like it should have been last week. Some ruffled feelings. That being said, you will not see the word union written on any other building for the remainder of the story. So it's kind of funny. The only place you see it is on the Confederate. Now, the brick guy coming up, the home of Daniel Ravenel. That is the only house in Charleston that has gone father to son since the 18th century. Since 1796. This home has gone from Daniel Ravenel to Daniel Ravenel. It went like Daniel Ravenel to 19. And nothing else comes close to that. I doubt even 10% of those born people from Charleston, let alone the families that live there. We got City Hall coming up down by Gabriel Manigo. Basically, that is an enlarged version of Marie Antoinette's she shed in the Palace of Versailles. And then far corner to the right, we have the old county courthouse, but that's the original location of our state legislature. Charleston was the capital of South Carolina until 1786. Ripley's, believe it or not. This intersection is the only place in America you have municipal law, state law, federal law, and Canada all located in one intersection. They named it the four corners of law. But St. Michael's, a society hall, which is really the French one. The Scots have been hanging out there since their building burned down. And if your check clears, they love to rent that to you for a wedding reception. So they got a whole bunch of societies in Charleston, and they're still at 200 years, so it's not like it's a great place to meet new people. It's like a really weird family reunion. You know, everyone's related somehow, I'm just not sure how they are. But you got those two main wealthy groups back there. You got your merchants who live here year-round. Then you got these plantations, but they're all over the place. So all the wealthy planters have their townhomes here in Charleston. Main house in the corner. Now today that's called a major structure, and these little guys that go with it are called dependencies. Now the little brick guy in the middle, that's a perfect copy. That's actually a fake one. So the old owners essentially want to have like a garden shed. Better receive all you cannons. You cannot melt down a fence or a gate and make a working cannon. It looks good, but it's just a giant pipe. Because of the bronze and the brass, whatever, you can for years now. The bell tower looks like it's. I mean, if they want it, they got it. A nice stretch of single houses coming up. Far and away, this is our most common floor plan in Charleston. We built our homes but a single room wide to this one. Now, a lot of people figure that we did it this way, so we can get out of paying a frontage tax. And, you know, it makes sense. It is did that. But we weren't one of them. Charleston never had a frontage tax, and they don't really build shotgun homes, shoot shotguns through. Gotta remember the Barbadians. They converted a kind of have essentially here. We just trying to hide from me. But from the way we designed them to the colors we painted them. For the guys, it is a very heavy wool suit. And for the ladies, it is significantly worse than a hoop structure. Because they're going to basically wrap you like a human sausage in over 10 pounds of wool, cotton, iron, and whalebone in your porcelain. So on a hot day, my one kind of get out there and try to cool off a bit. You just shut the door. It was called the privacy door, but it functioned as a do not disturb sign. So if you got that door shut, it simply meant leave us be. I mean, you got to advertise. So, y'all, we're about to block off the old waterfront on a side street where we can't see any church people. Sailors figured if I can't see the church, then the church can't see me. Y'all can imagine businesses are most congregated in this area. They had not yet coined the term red light district, but this would have been the first thing we did. We had to let them go. We got all lifted up in the tavern, be baptized in the tavern's pet to Erica, and got to draw a line somewhere in the clergy. His successor had to ask the congregation to quit drinking during the service. This was very much the city of Charles II. They did not call that guy the mayor monarch for nothing. It is no exaggeration to say that it'd be like if Charlie Sheen was the king of England. He fathered over 100 known illegitimate children, and he wasn't shy about it. He said, here's the point, if I'm not the father of ugly people, I'm the father of a great many. In Charleston, Charles II and Charles III are not related. But because of all his extracurricular children, Charles II and Charles III's kids are related to each other. And these are all multi-million-dollar homes today. But you know, this was originally the waterfront. So ship captains, merchants lived in the area. By and large, they are single-family homes as well. But some of these homes were, in fact, tenements. And today, the word tenement's got a really negative connotation to it. So the yellow guy on the left, that's a double. South Hatch's Lane. South Hatch's Wharf. We named this thing as a big wooden dock over the marsh, and there's the ballast stones we used to fill in the marsh. This is the slums. The waterfront's not always been the nice side of town, and yeah, if you start a war, don't lose it. That's pretty expensive. So this area was in such bad shape. They were talking about tearing it down before it simply fell down. Then in 1931, Judge Legg and his wife Dorothy bought the Colonel Beale, which is not the first pink one, but the second one. And they bought it for next to nothing. They restored it, showed off at a party. Now, meanwhile, Dorothy's sister Sarah has become head of our preservation society. So this is where Charleston's preservation movement was active, but this is where it really kind of takes off. It was largely because of the bomb so cheap. So by 1939, the entire stretch had been purchased, saving it for an initial phase of demolition. But meanwhile, Charleston has begun passing some of the first really strict preservation laws in the country. In a time period when most cities just tearing down their historic buildings. So National Geographic getting down to the story. More about the preservation movement in particular project. On Fort Sumter, our cannons couldn't shoot that far. So the initial shots of Fort Sumter are not from the city of Charleston, but the barrier islands surrounding it. James Morris and became a barber shop that didn't have any barbers, but sold a whole lot of hair ties. And this was one of the mints for the Confederacy. So we printed as much U.S. money as we did Confederate money. And it remains the easiest way to get people to try okra. No one's eating stewed okra because it looks good. You don't care about your heart being healthy. Yeah, we can make it taste good. It still looks like stock. And just an excuse to eat pork belly and salt and whatever. If you toss in a vegetable, that magically makes it healthy somehow. We got some tea shop in the right, some people. And there are other guys similar to Marion, not as well known, never got a Disney series. But Thomas something on purpose. They figure that way, if you want to attack someone, we're going to have to attack the Germans first, and then we get a heads up. But our first big group would have been the French. And then there's ahead of us, that is St. Philip's. And they are the oldest church congregation in the city. They're on the second location and third. The weird rule on that one. Graveyards have churches in them, cemeteries don't. Edward Rutledge and the other Charles Bentley from the Constitution. Now across the street, the cemetery, we got so he didn't want to be buried in Charleston. He wasn't from Charleston. However, his wife is from Charleston. He's dead. It's in university. You got a good arm. You can hit her tombstone with a beer can tailgating in the park. I mean, I used to joke, not if you play for Clemson. That's what that sometime. I was proud of that joke. And I went to the College of Charleston. I got a t-shirt that says CFC football. Undefeated, 1770. Full of bobcats and alligators. So that's much more of a messed up weight loss program than liberation. But Charlestonians do have a pretty strong tendency to be fancy about things that just aren't fancy. So porches are often on kiosks. Cockers. Buzzers turn into market eagles. Our baseball team, the River Dogs. The mascot kind of looks like a yellow lab, because a river dog is actually a rat the size of a Jack Russell. Just a big wharf rat. That's a river dog. And at this point, you're now about saying what? These guys will spend a minimum 180 days a year.
खिचिरहने अनि उता अनि 5 सेकेन्ड भएपछि भन्नु
starboard side of the boat, you're going to see a sandbar, a long sandbar. And at the end of that sandbar, there's going to be built there, named after Charles Coatsworth Pinckney, who was a Revolutionary War.
Never in anger. Good. Down in it. What baby am I?
He's like really, yeah, he's cool. Almost, you got it, yep, yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
어디서 이렇게 하고? जाडोमा हेर्नु मान्छे जाडोमा भएको
Palms.